This is Black Scott.
This is Love Jade.
And we are He Said, She Said, a podcast where we unpack current and controversial topics concerning
men, women, and the roller coaster that is our relationships with one another.
Look out for new episodes dropping every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific.
Tune in wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, so where I'm at right now is like, I told myself I wouldn't do this time, and I feel like I still end up doing it toward the end, right? Which is basically, you see good things that you like, but don't like get too excited about it. Just kind of like see how things end up playing out, right? That's what I want to do moving forward. And I felt like I tried to do that this time, you know? I really did, but I just feel like I can't help it. Like, I feel like when I see good things in a person, I'm like, okay, chill. But then you keep seeing good things. It's like, how long am I supposed to like chill before I can actually just trust that, you know, and just decide to like be all in, or, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, you're saying people become bitter, which they do. And they're like, yeah, see, I'm never going to do this. And I'm going to be like, F these people and blah, blah. And they become bitter about relationships. So I guess my thing is, what's the balance between being bitter and just kind of holding back until you see what you need to see? What's the balance between that? You know?
I was talking to my dad the other day, and we had this thing, and it works for guys and girls, really. Everyone has a mask. Everyone has, they put their best foot forward, but you can only do that for so long before, it's cracks in the mask, cracks in the armor, and they start to show them who they are. Not to say who they are is a bad thing, but they just start showing it. So let's say they're trying to act super confident. Well, maybe they might not be as confident once you get to know them. That's just something to print up. Yeah. Or maybe they try to act very even keel and very even temperature.
Yeah.
But then they're really a hothead or whatever it is, whether it's a good thing, bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying that it takes about anywhere between 3 weeks and 3 months to start seeing that. Mm-hmm. And that's just the first crack in the armor. That's when it starts.
All right.
So I guess answer your question is like, well, when do I start taking into consideration? Maybe after a couple months, maybe 3 months or so, you start, okay, at this point, the person can only be who they're going to be for so long. So now their real characteristics are going to start coming out. Now, I've seen stuff I like months 1 through 3, but let me see how it all actually comes out in the realist form of the person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it really is a time thing, which, like, you're right. You don't try to rush into things just because you see a couple good signs. But I think it's about, like you said, having that balance again. It's variable person to person. Depends on how you feel too, and your the things you require, the things you need. But really 3 months. After 3 months, I will start paying attention more closely.
I think that's a good point, because what happened with me is, I feel like this person was doing a lot of, and overall, I still feel like they were genuine. I just think that, I don't know, things just come up and things just happen, external factors, But anyway, what happened in the beginning was like, this person was literally doing the work, right? Like, I wasn't, because I know we were talking too about how, why don't people pursue who wants them, right? Like, why don't you want to be involved with who wants you? You want to like go after the person who is not giving you attention, right? This person was giving me attention, and like he was really showing me that, because like the first time we hung out was like during quarantine, so there's really not much to do, but we just got food, and then he was like, oh, when you get home? I was like, cool. And mind you, it was midday. It was like 5 o'clock. It wasn't dark. So I was like, oh, that's cool of him, to say that. And so I did let him know when I got home. And then he was like, cool. And so I was getting ready to take finals. And so I was telling him that. So he's like, oh, what are you doing for the rest of the day? And I was like, studying, and then he was like, all you do is study, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I'm gonna have to bring you a drink, And people say that. People say like stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, definitely, like, let me know or whatever. And, not expecting that it would actually happen, or, it's just, sometimes it's just conversational,
Right.
So going back to after the date. So after the first time we hung out, I let him know when I got home. And then he was like, so what are we drinking tomorrow? Like, because my final was going to be the next day. And then I was going to be like done with it by the afternoon. And so he was like, so what are you drinking tomorrow? And I was like, oh, he was actually serious about bringing me a drink. And so we did meet up, and he did do that, you know, and like we hung out and it was cool. And so that was like literally the next day after the first day that we hung out. And so subsequently in the weeks even after that, like we weren't hanging out as often. And on top of that, I went home for, you know, Christmas and stuff. And so we weren't like really seeing each other, but he would still hit me up like, oh, good morning, and like just texting me. And I was just like, wow, like this. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I was kind of like, this is a lot because it was so early. And I guess in me being toxic, to be honest, was just like, oh, this is too much. But like, no, that's like normal. Like if this person does care about you or whatever, they're interested in you, like they're gonna hit you up.
Yeah, just let them,
you know,
do what they do and accept that.
Right. And so honestly, like I think it was the good morning that got to me, because I feel like the regular text is fine, but like when someone's telling you good morning, it's like, wow, they thought about you. And you know, we all know good morning text, right? Like it just makes you feel more special. And so it's like on a different level somehow. So I feel like I was getting that. And again, like it wasn't like he was like deep in or nothing, but he was just being a good guy. That's what you're supposed to do, you know? But for me, you know, just coming from, I guess, situations where it wasn't as much like that, I was like kind of freaked out by that. And I was like, oh, he's doing too much, you know, in my head. So I said all that to just say, like, he was putting in this effort, you know, and I did respond to it, you know, like in my head, I was kind of like, oh, he's doing too much. And it kind of made me hesitant. But through text, I was actually still responsive and stuff like that, you know, toward him. And so, yeah, like he was really doing a lot of that stuff in the beginning. And then it started kind of falling off, you know. But I feel like it was hard for me to not get attached to those things that were happening in the beginning.
I was going to say, was that within the 3 months? Because I remember I was saying earlier, like, for a good portion of those 3 months, you're going to put your best forward. And not saying none of that was inauthentic, but you're going to give a little more juice just to get the ball rolling, especially as a guy. You're going to give a little bit more energy, a little more juice to kick the ball, to get, you know, because a lot of women are indifferent when it comes to guys' initial approach anyway. So especially if you like a girl, you're going to come with a little more juice. But eventually I feel like that will fall off, not because it was inauthentic, but just you want to get the ball rolling. But once it's rolling, you kind of keep it up, but to pull off the brakes a little bit. So I was just going to ask you, was that the time frame I was talking about and the time frame you're mentioning, are those the same time frames? Okay, so you started with, you know, these things to kind of get the ball rolling, put more energy there, and things like that. Was that within that 3 month-ish period, give or take?
It, you know, if I'm honest, I think it kind of did stop around the 3 month period, because that would have been March, right? Yeah. So I think it kind of started slowing down around the 3 month period, actually. But granted, like I said, for my situation, there was like external factors that came into play. And I think things just started happening. Things just started coming up in his life to where he kind of got busier and just like legit things. And so I think that also started happening around the 3 months. So I feel like maybe that was the reason, you know. But I guess my whole point of asking you that is just because it's like, usually like there's what you're talking about, I think, is internal factors, like the person and who they are, and like you'll start to see these things, right?
Right.
For me, I think I realized like, okay, it's not the person, like he's cool, everything's good with him, but then there's like these external factors that came into play to where he couldn't make the time anymore. And like I said, legit reasons, but still, where does that leave me? In the same boat as the girls who found out that it was internal, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I guess it's like anything could happen. It can be external factors. It can be you find out who the person really is, and that's an internal thing. But at the end of the day, we all end up in the same boat. It's over.
Or the same two boats. It's over, or we're still on the cruise ship.
Right. So there's two options, right? Yeah, we're still on the cruise ship,
or you get sit back,
or you're tossed overboard,
kicked off the island,
right? Something, right?
I guess that goes to the bigger topic. I was going to say, like,
it's like when can I feel safe? That's my whole question. Is like, when can I finally feel safe in a situation?
I guess it goes to the bigger topic.
Because even here, I thought I was safe because the guy was cool, but then external stuff happened, and so it had to end for that reason, like just because he got too busy with life, and I get that, but again, that still leaves me with an L. So when can a person feel safe to kind of just like rest? You know what I mean? Like I can rest in this person, I can feel safe in this person, I can like let my guard down.
I think it goes to the bigger topic of just the downsides of dating, which is you gotta go see what you're trying to get at, which is when can I feel comfortable? When you're dating, never, because there's no commitment, so there's nothing you can actually hang your hat on. You can on certain actions, and it builds over time. But again, when we talk about, there's like, caveats to it. So yeah, this person's acting nice now, but there's the first 3 months, everyone's gonna be pretty decent, and put their best foot forward. So you gotta take their actions, even if it is as consistent as it is, still with the appropriate grains of salt. But I think it does change over time. 3 years, 30 years. Okay.
Let's just get into the dating game and how ghetto it is. Let's just discuss that.
Really, I think the biggest thing you already pointed out, the fact that it's like the roll of the dice. Nothing's guaranteed. Yeah. Not everyone's going to be who they say they are. Not everyone's going to be in it for the same, interacting with each other for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Some people are in love with people's bodies. Some people are in love with people's wallets, people's pockets. You know what I mean? Some people are just rebound. Like, it's a lot of different things. So where it's like, man, can I feel comfortable with this person? Well, it depends on what their intentions are.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of it, and a lot of it's not very clear. A lot of it's very murky in the dating game too.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And I mean, I'm going to say it's ghetto, but there's also some good things, because there are. But before we address the good things, to address the murkiness, I think that's a huge thing, is people tend to not be on the same page. And I feel like nobody wants to really ask the questions, honestly, because I feel like I even sometimes struggle with asking the questions, because as women, we're kind of portrayed to be like, so what are we? And it's like, where's this going? And like, what do you want in life? And I feel like I don't want to come off like that. I kind of want to just be cool. Like, I want to be like the cool, chill person, right? But then if you're the cool, chill person, you don't get your questions answered, and you don't find out what you need to know,
Yeah.
So I understand that it's necessary to ask those questions, but I definitely struggle with it, because it's just like, you don't want to come off intense,
I have a complete opposite to your theory, which is I don't even ask questions. First of all, because people are going to tell you they're either going to strip lie to you, or tell you what you want to hear, something to kind of soften it up on your ears, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, where's this going? Well, I like where we're at right now. What does that mean? That means a whole lot of nothing, right?
It means nothing.
And so that's why I never understood why girls ask such black and white questions. Because I'm like, and again, depending on the person and the question and the relationship and all that.
Yeah.
But if you don't know somebody, you're not, and I don't think it's a bad thing that people do, but you're not going to get the honest truth out of them.
Yeah.
Unless they know and trust you deeply, but they're probably going to lie to you or tell you what you want to hear. So for me, I don't even ask questions. For example, like the body count question. I don't even ask that question, because the body count question really is an indicator of what's bigger, which is this person a hoe? Or this person for the streets, right?
Like, that's what people really want to know.
That's the bigger question. Yeah. They don't really care how many of you slept with. It kind of just means on the bigger thing, right?
Right.
And so for me, I don't even ask questions, because for that reason. So you ask a girl body count. First of all, I'm already assuming she's going to lie to me or tell me what I want to hear. So I don't even try to I don't even try to put my mind into that framework and then get mad when she lies to me like I thought she was going to.
Yeah.
Why?
Some people you just have to see.
And that's what I'm saying. For me, I just really sit back and just be as observant as possible.
Yeah.
I watch how they move, how they act to other people, their friends, their moms, their dads, teachers, professors. That'll tell you what you need to know. Even like talking about the past, different backstories, maybe again, if you guys are more comfortable, different exes and how those situations turned out and things like that. All that will kind of give you a picture and paint you a picture of what the person is without them having to say a single word as far as your questioning goes. They'll just tell you or show you.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't really bother. So what's this doing? So where's it going? So that person will, if the guy or the girl really wants to go somewhere, you'll see that, like you said, through text. Dude, let's hang out, spending some time together, creating intimacy. That will tell you everything you need to know. Because a person can say, oh, I'm planning to be together with you at some point. And it's just words. But that satisfies your ears, which is why a lot of guys find it easy. A lot of chicks, because they just say, "Oh, I'll tell her whatever." Like she actually watches what I do, I'll just tell her whatever, and that's good enough for the next 3 months till she asks me another series of questionings.
Man.
And same things happens to guys. When guys ask girls the same thing, it's like, well, yeah, I'll just tell them. That's
anxiety inducing.
Keep paying for dates.
That's anxiety inducing to say, like, to think rather that somebody's literally like, yeah, I'll answer these few questions. And then, the next time you have questions, you're going to talk about the relationship. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll go ahead and like kind of sugarcoat that and brush over that too. Yeah, I mean, what type of psychopath, narcissistic?
The thing is, I'm saying it in such a cold fashion, but like I said, it's not that malicious, not that evil. Where it's like, yeah, it's just like, oh, this person asked me. Well, I mean, I'll kind of tell them kind of where we're going. I haven't really thought about it. Yeah, I'll tell them. Just something.
Why not? Yeah, but why don't people?
People don't even think. They just respond. They just respond, right?
Just be like, I haven't thought about it. Come on now. We're adults.
Right. And this is exactly why I do not put myself in the framework for it to be this difficult, because I know it's going to be. Yeah. I just watch. You're not going to try to hide from me how you move, because you don't even know. Not to say it's so strategic and black and white and emotionless, but you're just going to do what you do from day to day.
Yeah.
Rather I'm watching you or not. So I might as well just sit back and kick back and see how you are. And you can do the same for me. Feel free.
Yeah, I want to comment on two things that you said. One, the body count thing, and then I want to comment on the exes, talking about exes thing. So first, the body count thing. I actually don't even, I agree with you 100%, and I don't ask that because I definitely agree with you. That's not really what you want to know. And also a number doesn't really mean that much. Like, because like, where's the cutoff? What's okay, what's not? Like, it's really,
how
it's
old
really
are
stupid.
you? When did you start? All types of different factors and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's really not like important. And on top of that, for me, it's just going to give me a complex for no reason. Right. So I feel like I'd rather just know what I need to know, like you said, which is
how do you move?
How do you move? So yeah, like I really don't even ask that question. I don't and I don't care to know. To be honest, I truly feel at peace without knowing, because the thing is, you can get, like you said, you could get what you need to know from seeing how the person moves and seeing how they interact, and like you can get that information. You know what I mean? And you can see, like, it becomes very obvious if you literally just look. And yeah, I overall just like gives people complex for no reason, right? Like
causes more questions and answers, right?
Yeah, because if you have a low number, that could be bad for some people, right?
Well,
you have a high number, that could be bad for some people.
Experience doesn't really, again, experience and numbers don't equate. It's like, well,
exactly.
It's
very like arbitrary. It doesn't mean anything. So I honestly just don't ask nor care to know. But also on the exes thing, is it necessary to talk about exes with your new person? I've always really thought about this deeply as like, because like if you talk too much about your ex, then it's weird, because then it's like it seems like you still obsessed, right, or obsessed over them, or like you still want to be with them. But if you don't talk about them at all, that can also be the same red flag, right? Like,
damn, what happened? That she will never speak of this.
Right, you'll never speak of this ever again.
Right. It's gonna stay in the vault, this information.
Right, and then on top of that, like it's like, what exactly about it do you need to talk about that's important to your new relationship? I think maybe the stuff you learned, right? Or maybe like even what you did wrong, or what you learned you can improve on, right? And then also maybe things that are triggering for you, or that caused you trauma. So maybe like when you get comfortable with a person, not right away, but when you get comfortable with them, I feel like you should talk about those traumas, because if it comes up, they're going to be like, why is she acting like this? Or why is he acting like this? Versus if you tell them like, hey, this is like, hey, I was cheated on, for example, or like I was lied to.
Right, or I have people yelling at me or something, or
exactly, any of that, right? Like they can kind of understand and be more sensitive with you, or maybe interact with you in a different way. Versus if you don't say anything, then they're just kind of like question mark, like, the swaggy pea face, like what was happening here. So I think it's important to
getting the bags packed.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's important to like definitely discuss those things, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in the context of like your ex per se. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just what came out of that situation that they need to know for moving forward.
I guess my answer to your question too is it has to come up in an organic fashion. Again, I'm not a fan of asking direct, oh, so where's this going? Why are you here? Blah, blah. So what happened? Like, I don't like those. It has to come up naturally. I don't like to ask questions you don't want to answer. If we talk about it and it flows organically, you just say, yeah, I had that experience too. I share my experience. Like, oh man, I got left at the bus stop by an ex, and it's a crazy story, man. I don't know if you had any crazy stories, but that was like my thing. And then if they want to share, they'll share. Oh man, I had a situation too. Or they may not, but it's an organic flow of conversation. So that's where you'll see how the breakdown happens. And we'll probably go deeper into it. Like, yeah, messed up something that didn't make me feel good when I got left at the bus stop. And same, yeah. When I went through this situation, so you kind of just start giving pieces of each other in an exchange fashion, in an organic fashion, not in this. I want to take this answer from you. I want to pry into your brain, into your heart, and extract this information. It's more of a organic thing of just a give and take. A simple, easy conversation. Talk about their ex,
so.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anyone does, regardless of how it ended, why it ended. Yeah. Maybe y'all are on good terms. I don't think anyone really just genuinely wants to talk about it, especially when you're dating. Like, I'm not trying to talk about it. I think
context is important too. Maybe, again, like we're talking about a joking fashion or easy fashion, but I don't like a drilling sense of, all right, let's sit in the dark room and let's go ahead and just ask each other these questions with the FBI agent present and the lawyer. Like, no one in that sense. Like, that's not even fun. Like, I don't even want to speak on that. And that's why I like, I like things to be organic.
Yeah.
In that fashion.
One day you'll be released from the shackles of this bus stop situation.
Bus stop, exactly. Now it's gonna haunt my memory forever. It shaped me into the man I am today.
And we talk about it every other podcast.
Exactly. I feel like I really should give a real story time to the whole thing. If I haven't, I believe I have. I want to give really the in-depth, details, the story, the psychological impact.
Man, let us know if y'all want a story time clip.
The bus stop story.
Story time clip, just with the bus stop story solely. That's it. Let us know. But man, let's talk about the good things about dating too. I think
finding the one and ducking off. I never again in a healthy fashion.
Find your wife and get off Instagram.
Exactly.
Amen.
And again, not in the way where you're obsessing over each other in an unhealthy fashion, but when people find who their person and they duck off, hey, listen, I'm happy for you. I'm not gonna be able to suck your toes or anything like that. So whoever's doing that for you, and you guys are happy, and hey, do more of that.
Yeah.
And be happy.
Man, I really think that is like one of the biggest things that I look for is like, I really just want to have my person. I want you to be my person. I want you to be the person like I can go to, at the end of the day, I can call to go somewhere and like, we're that similar. And I've had that before in situations, and maybe the situations didn't work out, but I think that's what I want. Like, we can go places together. We can do things together. You're the first person I call or think of calling when things happen in my life. Like, I know you're there for me. I'm there for you. Like, just that like super tight bond, like,
right.
I think that's deeper than just like, oh, you're my boyfriend or whatever, or like, oh, we're in love. I think it's just like that bond, because that's what it is at the end of the day. We're pair bonding mammals, right? So it's like we look for that
boyfriend and girlfriend, especially in 2021, man. The concept of boyfriend and girlfriend is like, what does that even mean?
It can mean a lot. It can mean a lot. And I think for me, I really just want that person I can be bonded to. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. That's what my focus.
That's like my best friend. That's just like that's just a relationship, like, and I'm not talking about the couples that are always together and do every single thing together and matching pajamas and matching sweatsuits. For me, that's too much. So and that may work for some people, but for me, that's too much.
Too much anyway. Like, that's just surface level actions. Like, you start to think you're speaking on the deeper aspect of security. Does this man have
exactly?
Or this woman have my back?
Exactly. So I don't need to be up under you all the time per se, but yeah, like exactly. It's that overarching. No matter what, whether we're in the same place or not, whether we're together or not, I know, I know that you got me. I know that you got me. And that's really what I'm looking for. And so I think that is definitely a positive of dating. Something I want to say that's on a more superficial level. I want to say it's superficial, but I'll just say it. I think another important thing for me in dating that's important is that
height.
I mean, that's positive is that no.
I thought you were going there. No. Go ahead and destroy all men.
No, I wasn't going there. I was going to just say that I wasn't going to get canceled today. Listen, I was going to say that the memories you make when you date, if you had good times with this person, if you had like a first date and maybe things didn't work out down the line, but you enjoyed that, or you were in a full relationship with them and you guys used to always go to this your favorite place together, like those positive memories, whether a situation works out or not, are always yours to keep, and they're always good, you know?
Yeah.
That's always a good thing. And I feel like at times we feel like, oh, when we're done with a person, like everything just goes away. Like everything about them, everything we did, that's all in the past now. But I feel like there's still times where I might randomly think about a good time I had with somebody I used to date. And it's not even like, oh, I want to go be back with them. It's just, yo, man, that was a really good day.
But here's the thing.
And it doesn't mean anything, but it's a part of my life and my story. And
Where do people like when?
Well, let me finish. And I think people should take that with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people should see it all as negative just because it didn't work out. I think there were good things about that relationship that added to your life, and that's always going to be a positive thing, you know? So it's not like everything was a waste of time, you know?
Right.
Those moments were not a waste of time, you know?
I think it's something you build on top of. When people say walks on the beach, well, someone had to walk with you on the beach for you to figure out that you like that thing.
True,
now, you may not be with the person anymore.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you just add those things on. Like, yeah, I actually like walks on the beach. I like going out to eat. I like, going to the shooting range, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you didn't do that all with one person, or you maybe did. But it's one of those things you add to things you like and experiences, and that's how you connect with other people. Well, you had an ex who took you to walk on the beach. He had the same.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter, but all that matters is you both like that, enjoy that, and can be honest about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's like you said, you don't have to scrap everything. Just build on top of those things that you enjoy and that you like.
Yeah, because I think you take away. I think too that's like when situations end or you have a breakup or whatever. I think that's a hard thing to do, is to separate what was us, what was like them, and what was me. So like obviously the them stuff is like stuff that you probably did just because you like them or just because they liked it, so you did it with them. That can go. Mm-hmm. Then there's like we stuff that you guys did both enjoy together, but it just doesn't really apply anymore because you're not. Yeah, like maybe it's like as a couple, it's just like, well, that worked for us as a couple, but it's not something I would do alone, or it's not something I would do in the future partnership,
with a friend,
right?
Or anybody,
exactly.
Really.
So there's those things, and then there's you, which is like things that you personally just like that came from the relationship. Like one of my exes, we really just loved, like we were both big on music. So I feel like I got a lot of music from him. And after that situation ended, it was hard to separate like, oh, this reminds me of him, or like, oh, maybe I should just delete these songs because I don't want to be reminded, or like, I got to let that part of my life go. But like, I actually like this music.
Did I. Shout out to Uncle LJ. Oranges in the building.
Man, look, okay. So I feel like certain things you might have just gotten it started in the relationship, but you genuinely enjoy, and that's okay to take too, you know? Like, so I think that those are some of the positives for sure.
Yeah, that's facts. And so I'm like, it's like you said, yeah, you can't really look at it too negatively.
Yeah.
Or like be too hopeful or too overly optimistic.
Right.
Both. I feel like when it comes to the dating game, it's about having a balance and recognizing both. Like, so here's the upsides, here's all the downsides.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, who's Uncle LJ?
Larry June.
Oranges on Deck. Why did I not know that?
Why
did I not know that they called him that?
Yeah.
And I would look so stupid because I was gonna say shout out to Larry June too, because that was the artist that one of my exes introduced me to.
Yeah, I
would look so stupid saying the same thing that you just said.
Shout out to Uncle LJ.
My Midnight Organic sweater is coming in shortly.
Smoothies on deck.
Listen, period. Shout out.
The hikes on deck, water on deck.
I'm looking forward to getting that sweater. But yeah, sorry.
I gotta pay you.
Yeah, you know what? You do have to pay me.
I thought Mylan paid.
I'm gonna request you.
That's usually when someone
see how people can
usually when somebody does the PayPal request, it's the highest form of urgency and at the same time disrespect.
Oh yeah, I should have requested you because let me tell you guys about this man. Well, literally, he will not let you forget about his money. But yet, here we are. Now that he owes me money. Now, granted, I also forgot.
I was going to send the money to Mylan, so it's I would have been hearts in the right place, but the money's not.
Well, he never got the money though either. So
I sent did you send the $3 for the donuts? You're just as bad. You're just
we're
as
not talking about me.
Because guess what? I sent them the $3 right then and there.
You gotta pay the intern for the donut.
Right then and there.
Anyway,
it's the pot calling the kettle black.
My money for the Midnight Organic sweater. Don't worry, when they come in, you won't get it until I get my money.
You gotta come see me.
You gotta come see me to get your sweater. At which point I will be requesting my money.
Let's have this conversation before we get this. Before I give you your package. Now, how much is it?
I think it was like 70. No, with tax.
For one?
Yeah, should have asked.
One sweater was $70?
Yes, one sweater was $70. What do you mean?
No. I ordered the gray shirt.
Oh, remember? Well, I got a sweater. I didn't know what mine ordered for you.
Wait, and that's
you got
why
the sweater. I'm pretty sure you got the sweater.
Nah, I got the gray shirt.
Because you were like, give me a medium. So then what size? A large. So I added that.
I'll go. Wait, so it's your money, but he ordered it.
I gave him my card to order it for me because I was getting ready. So I didn't have time to set it.
We gotta wrap this up, and it's right on time. We have internal issues to address. We have internal issues, financial concerns going on with the personal life. All right, we'll see y'all in the next one. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. That's been our time. Again, I am Black Scott.
I'm Love Jade.
And we are He Said.
She Said.
If you enjoyed the podcast, go ahead and subscribe, share.
And hey, follow us on Instagram. We are at He Said, She Said _PC. Again, that's at He Said, She Said _PC, where you can find episode updates, polls, and interact with our community. And hey, if you do participate in one of our polls, you might just become a part of our show.